Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining on. Welcome to Yoga for First Responders. So today we're going to work on a little flow to kind of lift and elevate our mood. We all have those times where we just feel kind of down and out, and so let's try to help that. So if you have a block or a bolster, probably not at home, but if you do, or even a mat, an extra yoga mat, try to roll up that mat just like one of these here and see if you can maybe sit on it. A pillow would even work too, or a couch cushion, just something to kind of lift the hips a little bit higher than those knees. It'll take a lot of pressure out of that lower back. And if you don't have anything or want to use anything, that is totally okay too. That's just an aid to kind of help us move a little bit more comfortably. So wherever you're at, whether you're using a pillow or a block or nothing, just try to find a comfortable seat. We're going to begin with just a little breathing exercise to help draw our focus in and just get us ready for our practice. So as you find your seat though, let's try to sit up nice and tall, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Oftentimes our mood can affect our posture, and the other way around too, our posture can affect our mood. So sometimes even if we're feeling a little down, if we just straighten up, stand a little bit taller, oftentimes that can trick our brain even a little bit to help start to feel a little bit better. So let's try to bring those shoulders above those hips, ears above those shoulders, and just find just soft through the upper body, although we are engaged in lifting through the crown of the head. Now, as we pause here, feel free to close your eyes, or you can just find a gentle gaze down at the floor and try to find your breath. And just notice, maybe you came from a busy day and you're just finally settling in. It takes a moment to find the breath and slow it down. Or maybe you're doing this first thing in the morning. Maybe we need to deepen that breath a little bit to wake the body and the mind up. So just notice how you were breathing first. And then maybe if you feel like you need to energize, wake up a little bit, try taking a little bit deeper inhales. But maybe if we're slowing down and we need to cool down and calm down, try to slow down the exhales. Just a couple breaths here. And then as you continue to breathe, let's try counting our breath. So not counting the times we breathe, but just counting the length of our breath. So as you breathe in, just counting in your mind how long it takes you to breathe in. And as you breathe out, same thing, just count, notice how long it takes you to breathe out. And over the next few breaths, maybe try and see if you can bring those counts to 4. So inhaling to the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 4. If at any point you start to feel like it's constricting your breath or overwhelming, feel free to let go of that counting and just come back to your natural breath. Let's just try that for a few more breath cycles, breathing into the count of 4 and out to the count of 4. And 2 more breaths here. Feel free to let go of that counting, but know you can come back to that at any point throughout your practice. If you're finding it's hard to stay with the breath, you can always try counting that breath once again. So if those legs are crossed, let's cross them the other way. So let's bring the other leg in front or on top. And then once again, just finding your nice tall seat to lift in through the crown of the head. And let's take a few shoulder rolls, just drawing them up and back. A few circles here as we start to find some movement through the body. And taking it a little bit deeper on that next breath in. Let's sit up even taller, lifting up through those shoulders, and then try to stay lifted as you just draw those shoulders down and back. So maybe even turning that gaze up. The hips are tilted forward slightly, and then on the exhale, we're going to reverse direction. So we're going to round through the back, drawing the belly in, shoulders just completely relax, bringing the chin a little closer to the chest. Now you can stay and hold here, or you can move with that breath. So on each breath in, we want to lift and open through the heart, open through the shoulders, and then each breath out, we round through the back, opening through the back of the body. Inhale, forward and up. Shoulder blades draw down the back. And exhaling, slightly drawing in through those hips, drawing in through the belly as we round. 3 more breaths here, whether you're holding or moving. And then slowly making your way back to that neutral spine. And on that next inhale, let's reach those arms all the way out to the sides and up until you feel the hands connect, and then we'll exhale them down to our heart. As we breathe in, let's reach straight back up, and on the breath out, let's reach out and down until you feel the floor under those fingers. Inhaling as we reach, exhaling, hands to our heart, inhaling back up, and exhaling all the way down. Let's keep that right hand on the floor, and on our inhale, let's reach that left arm straight up towards the ceiling, and exhale maybe over to the side, and slowly back through center, switching those arms, inhaling as we lift, and exhaling over. 2 times each side, opening through the side body. Just finishing both sides here. And then go ahead and bring both hands all the way to the floor. Take a moment to just pause here in the middle once again. Try to find your breath. And then go ahead and bring those hands forward out in front of you. If you were sitting on a block or a pillow, go ahead and move that over to the side. And then we'll just walk those hands forward until they come slightly out in front of those shoulders. Let's reach those hips back towards our heels with those toes tucked. And then on an inhale, let's slowly lift the hips all the way up to our downward dog. As always, especially your first downward dog of the day, feel free to walk out those heels. Beginning to wake up the back of the legs, beginning to wake up through the hips. Especially if you've been seated all day or standing or walking, or first thing in the morning, it's great to open through the back side of the body. One more breath here. Slowly relaxing both heels towards the floor. Let's turn that gaze forward and inhale, shifting your weight forward into a plank. Coming down to both knees. And on our exhale, bending the elbows, lowering all the way down to the chest and the belly. Nice deep breath in as we roll those shoulders back and up. A little baby cobra. So just a tiny little lift. You might even be able to lift the fingertips off the floor here. Elbows are pointing back. Maybe you can feel the tops of your feet grounding down into the mat. One more inhale. Just lifting through the very top of the head. And then exhaling as you lower down. Inhaling back up to those knees, and exhale, reaching the hips back, a little extended child's pose here. And then inhale, slowly coming up to your downward dog. Once more, turning that gaze forward. This time we're going to step those feet to the front of our mats. And once we get there, finding a nice deep bend in those legs, and slowly making your way up to standing. Inhaling as we lift those arms, and exhaling, hands find our heart center. Finding your breath here after we started moving a little bit. Again, just try to notice your inhale and your exhale. exhale. And then on our next breath in, we're gonna reach these arms up, but we're gonna extend our mountain pose a little bit. So our arms are lifted, but try to turn that gaze up towards those hands. Strong through our legs, so engaging through those thighs. And let's try to lift a little bit higher. Looking up at those hands, and then maybe dropping those shoulders down the back. One more breath here. And then on the breath out, folding, hinging at those hips, finding your forward fold. On our inhale, let's lift halfway up. Feel free to bring those hands to the legs, or they can hover. Just take a big shoulder roll back and down, engaging through that lower belly. And then exhaling, folding back over those legs. Both hands find the floor. Let's step those feet back to our downward dog. And inhaling, we'll come forward to our plank. Knees or toes this time. And then on your exhale, let's bend those elbows. Maybe pause halfway down. And then inhaling, lifting through the crown of the head. Taking 2 breaths here, whether you're in your cobra with the legs on the floor or upward dog with the legs lifted. Try to reach the heart forward as you reach the tailbone back. And then on an exhale, engaging through that lower belly, let's lift those hips back up. Next breath in, we're going to shift our weight into our right foot so we can slowly lift our left foot up, reaching it back and up. And on the breath out, let's bend that left knee and step that foot to the front of our mats. You can always reach back and help that ankle forward. All right, lowering our right heel to the floor, turning the foot out to the side. Slowly, let's make our way all the way up to a warrior 1. And then exhaling, we're going to open out to the side, finding our warrior 2. So just check in with the whole body here, noticing just how this feels. Not so much how it looks, but just what it feels like in the body. Maybe you feel that front leg engaged. Maybe you feel the shoulders. Maybe we can relax them a little further away from those ears. Just taking a moment to pause, to notice, and to breathe. On that next inhale, let's straighten that front leg so both legs are straight here. Slowly, we're going to reach the left hand forward as far as we can until we can't reach any further. We're going to keep the torso just as it is, and we're just going to lower left hand down as we reach the right hand up. And maybe try turning your gaze up at that right hand. Finding our triangle. Now this right hand, you can continue to actively reach it up towards the ceiling, or maybe you turn your hand facing behind you and try reaching back towards your hip, your lower back, maybe around to the top of the thigh, anywhere along the way. And then very gently, wherever your hand is connected with the body, try to press in a little further as we draw that right shoulder back behind us. 3 breaths as we pause right here. Allowing your breath to help you set your pace. And then on our next inhale, unwinding that top arm. Let's come all the way back up. And then reaching that right arm forward, finding that warrior 1. And on the exhale, we're going to step that back foot to the front. Just coming back into our mountain at the front of our mats. Okay, inhaling. Let's reach those arms all the way back up. This time on the exhale, we're going to bend these elbows. We call this cactus arms. Dropping the shoulders, dropping the elbows down towards the floor, but then lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Turning that gaze slightly up. And then inhale, go ahead and lift all the way back up, and exhaling, forward fold. As we breathe in, lifting halfway. And on the breath out, folding back over those legs. And then this time, let's step our left foot to the back. Dropping the left heel as we turn the foot out to the side. Inhale, let's reach all the way up to our warrior 1 on the opposite side. And then exhaling, let's open out to that warrior 2. Again, just finding a little pause so we can check in. Maybe even try closing those eyes just for a moment. Notice what draws your attention first. And then as we are ready, straightening this front leg. As we breathe in, let's reach forward as far as we can with that right hand. Leaving the torso right where it's at. All we do is move these arms. Right hand reaches down, left hand reaches up. Maybe we pause right here, looking up at that top hand, or you can turn the hand facing behind you and try reaching back. Maybe we find the lower back, maybe the hip or the thigh. 3 breaths as we hold. Strong, grounding down into both feet. Try to find your breath. You've got it. And then when you're ready on that next inhale, slowly unwinding those arms. We'll lift the torso back up to that warrior 2. Left hand comes forward, warrior 1. And exhaling, go ahead and step that back foot to the front. Finding your mountain. Feel free to release those hands along those sides. Let's just take 3 breaths here as we pause before we find a little bit of movement. Once again, as we breathe in, try to lift a little taller through the crown of the head. Nice and tall, but strong, grounding down through those legs. We're reaching in 2 directions here. Grounding down into the feet as we lift through the very top of the head. Okay, go ahead and bring those hands back to your heart center. We're going to move with our breath here. So as you feel ready, what we're going to do is we're going to start by stepping our left foot back. And we're going to open these arms into our cactus arms. So again, elbows are bent. We try to bring those elbows towards one another behind the body. And then try to turn that gaze up. So little cactus arms, little heart opener. So we inhale here. And then exhale, we step forward, bringing those hands together. Inhaling, stepping the right foot back this time. Opening through the heart, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And exhaling, stepping forward, connecting those hands at your heart. So we just move with our breath. Each breath in, we step back. Each breath out, coming forward. Inhaling as we lift through the heart. Exhaling, feel that foot connect with the floor. We're going to go 4 times each breath here. Just moving at your own pace. Maybe you stay and hold anywhere along the way. Just trying to make each movement intentional and on purpose. I guess that means the same thing, but 2 different words for it. Rather than just letting that leg fall back, try to slowly step back, and I totally lost track of count. So, just evening out both sides, slowly making your way back to the front when you feel ready. All right, back to center. Once again, maybe those hands reach down towards the floor. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and then just try sighing it out through the mouth. 2 more breaths like that. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just once more, see if you can hear that breath in through the nose. Nice and loud out through the mouth. All right. We are going to make our way down to a seat. Just coming all the way onto your mat here. Okay, so we're going to just bring this right leg out to the side. Left foot comes in alongside the leg here. Now we're going to turn our torso over this right leg. Now try to bring your left hand to the outside. I'm going to try not to mix you up on sides here. But so left hand comes to the outside of the leg. It might be up on the thigh, again, just depending on how our body is doing today. It might be up here, or you might be able to reach for the outside of your foot. So don't worry about what I'm doing, just reach where you can reach. Outside of your leg here. Now the right hand, we're going to come underneath the arm here, and just go ahead and bring your hand to the floor or to the opposite leg. Now I know it feels like we're all wound up, but it's going to work. So on our inhale, try to lift a little bit taller through the torso. Try to reach from the back. And then on the exhale, we're slowly gonna try to turn our shoulders, or at least the gaze, to that left side, so towards that bent knee. So we're folding over that extended leg, but we're trying to turn and open to the side a little bit. Our goal here is to not only open through the back of the leg, but we can also get an opening through the side body and maybe even through the lower back a little bit. So you can stay right here, or maybe if you want to take it deeper, you can continue to reach that left hand down the leg, or you can try bringing that arm up overhead and turn that gaze under the arm. So again, anywhere along the way is just fine. Pausing when you start to feel any kind of sensation of a stretch. We're going to pause 5 breaths. Knowing you can always come back to that counting breath if it's hard to keep that focus with the breath here. On that next inhale, as you feel ready, slowly pressing into the ground as we lift all the way back up. As you're ready, you can reach the opposite leg out. Let's give the other side a try. You might notice it's a little bit tighter or a little less tight on one side, which is totally normal. So that's why we like to do one side at a time so we can really notice and check in. So we'll turn our torso over that extended leg, and then as we start to walk the hands down, we'll bring our right hand this time to the outside of our leg. Again, it can be up on the thigh, it can be down on the calf, or to the foot. Left hand's going to come underneath the right arm. You can bring the palm to the floor or to the leg here. Now, keeping the hands where they are, on our inhale, try to just lift, reaching from the back side of the body, reaching it up and back. And then on the exhale, try to turn those shoulders and turn your gaze to the right. And as you do that, you might start to be able to fold a little bit deeper over that leg. So maybe you can move that hand a little closer to the foot, or maybe you move the hand that's on the floor a little further out. Finding your space where you can stay and hold. Another variation, another option, you can just reach up and over towards your foot. So finding what works for you, finding your breath, and then we're going to pause about 5 breaths here. And then very slowly, we'll begin to make our way back up to center. Again, using that hand on the floor to help lift the upper body. Coming all the way back, and then go ahead and bring both feet to the floor. Just those hands on those legs, feet connected with the mat or the floor, and let's just move through a few seated cat and cow. So on your inhale, we're going to once again just lift nice and tall, shoulders draw down and back, and then on the exhale, rounding through the back, chin towards the chest. Inhaling as we reach forward, lifting up. Exhaling as we round. And just once more each direction. Inhaling as we lift. Exhaling all the way back. As you make your way back up to center, we're going to lower down onto our back. But if you are using your block or a blanket or a pillow or a rolled up yoga mat, we're going to bring it behind us, because as we lower it down, we're going to try to bring this across the shoulder blades. So just for these last few minutes of practice today, just getting a nice, just one more heart opener here. So you can lower yourself down using those arms, those forearms, or maybe those hands. When you lower it down, you might need to adjust the block a little bit. but the goal is to have it come right across the shoulder blades. And then your head can rest on the mat behind. Your arms can be maybe slightly out to the sides with those palms facing up, and the legs can be wherever's comfortable for you. Your feet can be on the floor, you can straighten them out. You can bring the soles of your feet together to do little butterfly legs. Again, each day is different, each body is different. So whatever feels best for you. And once again, if you don't have a block or a pillow or anything, that is okay. You can just lower all the way down onto your back. So as we pause here for this last little bit, we're going to try to hold here for 10 full breaths. I know it sounds like a long time, but it's really not. It'll go by quickly. And maybe if you were counting that breath, maybe as you breathe into the count of 4, try breathing out to the count of 6. Slowing down those exhales. And with each breath out, just allowing the body, the back, the legs, the hips, everything to release a little bit more. Okay, when you feel ready, you can always stay here as long as you would like. But very slowly, as you're ready to come back up to a seat, maybe try just rolling over onto one side. Rolling off of the block, off of the blanket, whatever you might be using. And then you can use those hands to help yourself back up to a seat. Maybe you notice your natural posture is a little bit taller here. Or maybe we need to help it out a little bit. Once more, just lifting through the crown of the head. And we'll just take 2 more breaths together as we finish up. So feel free to just finish that next breath out. And then on an inhale, let's reach those arms back up towards the ceiling. Connecting those hands, exhaling all the way out through the nose. And then just a nice cleansing breath. Let's take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and I can't wait to see you next time. Namaste.